The following story is also available as a read-only version. Check the link in the description if you're interested. The days were getting shorter, and heavy clouds of rain had made today shorter still. The shore of Loch Tay was calm, but its surface was disturbed by the noise of a fine drizzle, barely visible in the twilight. Amid the trees, the chimney of a long, squat house was blowing smoke. Many of its small windows were shuttered, and the few that were not shone with the dim light of gas lamps. The wind was not too strong, but still howled through the roof beams like a wailing banshee. It was almost as though they had been made with such acoustics in mind. There was a knock on the heavy door of the house. A visitor, more shadow than man, was standing in the rain wearing a black travel coat. There were no footsteps in the soft mud through which he had trudged. After a few moments, the clicking of metal and sliding of wood could be heard from the door. Then, with a light squeak, the owner of the house pulled it open. Though his abode spoke of a certain dilapidation from a glorious past, the candle he was holding illuminated a burgundy dressing gown decorated with golden lacework. His white hair and aristocratic beard were well kept, and his eyes, the colour of forget-me-nots, had the sharp alertness of youth, tempered but not dulled by age. "You?" he asked, confusion clear on his face. "Me," the traveller responded. He smiled, his brilliant white teeth gleaming brighter than they should have. They looked as though they were made out of dense smoke kept in place by invisible barriers, but shifting ever so slightly underneath. Smooth black hair fell onto his shoulders, repelling the rainwater. "You picked an interesting place to retire. There are some dangerous beings dwelling in these woods." The old man gave a single, humourless chuckle. "I've paid Cloak my dues. I can retire wherever I want." He stepped back into the vestibule, opening the door further and bidding the traveller inside. "Thank you," the traveller said, taking off his coat as he walked up the steps, revealing a black vest and grey shirt underneath. The platinum-plated chain of his chronometer hung from his breast pocket. "You've aged," the old man said. There were indeed crow's feet in the corners of the traveller's shining alabaster eyes. "This world does not suit my needs as much as others do, I'm afraid," the traveller explained, smiling. The old man led his guest through a long, cold corridor and into the warmth of the living room. A heavy rug swallowed the sound of their footsteps, and the flickering of the fireplace distorted the shadows of various hunting trophies into terrible shapes. "You've certainly not moved with the times," the traveller commented. "I've neither electricity nor radio. Not even the newspaper gets delivered here. I haven't talked to a living soul in months." The old man gestured at the mountains upon mountains of books sitting on various tables. "Well, if you're interested, someone flew around the world alone in an aeroplane. The new American president is pushing his country out of the austere conditions it has been living under, and the fellow with the funny moustache has gained complete control of Germany," the traveller offered. "I was not interested," the old man responded, "but I see why you would keep yourself informed about all the latest happenings. After all, being here must be quite dangerous for you." The traveller laughed a clear, crystalline laugh. "Please, I've been on this world for 5 decades. Cloak would never dream of looking for me here." An angry frown crept onto the old man's face. "Are you being serious? I spent 30 of those years looking for you in places so deep they had never even heard of sunlight." "I do agree that it is quite hilarious. All this time your colleagues and your superiors were chasing every shadow on every world. You were so willing to follow every lead that you did not stop to consider if maybe none of them would lead anywhere at all." The traveller smiled and put his hand on the backrest of a padded chair. "But alas, my work here is done, and I will need to return to my role as the hunted in Cloak's favourite game of chase." The old man shook his head and placed the candle he'd been holding onto an empty table. I can see how this might be a problem for you. As easy as it may have been to move around this world, they do watch all the exits. If you've come to me for help with that, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. Let leaving be my problem. I will be gone soon, and they will never even know that I was here, the traveller said. I'd like to see you pull that off. You're good, but you're not that good. Can't even take the train, I hear. Rumour has it the conductor doesn't like you very much. The old man sat down in an armchair. It's actually the engineer whose ire I have drawn, but the result is the same. I will not include the train in my daring escape. The traveller moved silently, stopping when he was standing in between the old man and the fireplace. For what it's worth, I do hope that they finally catch you. The old man pulled his pipe out of a cupboard and began filling it with tobacco. You don't seem very afraid, the traveller noted. And what the fuck would I have to be afraid of? The old man put the pipe in his mouth and lit its contents with a match. I am in your house, for one, and you are quite defenceless, the traveller explained. Were you under the impression that I thought I was going to survive this encounter? The old man took a long drag from his pipe, letting the question hang in the air as he slowly released the smoke. I suppose I was at least expecting you to put up a fight. You were always among my more formidable hunters, the traveller admitted. And you were always a prick. The old man shook his head. No, I've long ago accepted what is going to happen. My father fought you, my grandfather fought you, and my great-grandfather fought you. All three of them have died at your hands. My son is fighting you, my grandson is fighting you, and I would wager my great-grandson and great-great-grandson will also waste their entire lives trying to hunt you down. But in the end, they too will die at your hands. He put down the pipe. You can't escape fate, Valentin. You of all people should know that. The traveller was quiet for a long time. I tip my hat to you, sir. I am somewhat disappointed that I will not experience the thrill of a good fight, but I have nothing but respect for you and will act accordingly. The old man rolled his eyes. Would you stop being melodramatic? Get this over with, then get out of my bloody house. Valentin smiled. His teeth had shifted. Where moments ago they had looked like they could belong to any man, they were now two neat rows of razor-sharp shark teeth. Even with the fire behind throwing a mantle of shadow over him, Valentin's teeth gleamed like they had a shine of their own. I really wish it hadn't come to this, he said. There isn't much we can do about it now, the old man responded. If you liked this story and would like to hear more, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. A new short story is uploaded every Wednesday, and there will occasionally be another one in between if I find the time. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day.